Hello and welcome back to Angular 2 Masterclass with Alejandro Rangel. In the previous section, we create a weather service that returns the weather from London and the weather from Vienna. And then we see that we can inject this weather service in our app component and use it as an API provider. The drawback of this is pretty clear, so everything is hard-coded. So the idea in this part of the video is to finally connect our application to a real API. This will mean a lot of changes in the application because first we will have to work with the Angular 2 HTTP library. There is a dedicated video of how to bootstrap this. We will recap all the concepts here, but this is one of the first tasks that we have to do. The second one is that to remember the concept from RxJS. So this is a library for observable, for asynchronous events. And finally, we have to tweak a little bit the code just to call this API and wait and subscribe to the events. So first of all, let's go to the Open Weather map. So from there, we can take a look on the API. So if we come to openweathermap.org API, we can see here that is the documentation. And this is the one that we are going to use. To get the weather from London, for example, we call this API and it will return a JSON with all the information about the weather. Remember the main that we have in our interface. We have much more data like the temperature, main, and so on. This is the description that we will read and display in the user screen. So we will use Open Weather. Let's go back to slides. We will have a parameter that is the query that we will specify the city that we want to query. Okay. So from the weather service, we have to configure several stuff. So here we can see that we have to import from RxJS library the observable. Okay, this will allow us to subscribe to the string of events that the Angular 2 HTTP library will dispatch. Okay. We will put the weather API URL in a string. This is just for fancy and that you get used to put the weather in a constant file or in a private variable and so on. We have to inject HTTP. This is super important. So in order to use Angular 2 HTTP, we have to first import in the index the HTTP library. Remember that. Then we will call getWeather, and this is the interesting part. Most of the new users of Angular get confused with this syntax. We have to create a new observable. So this is from RxJS library, and then we process the getWeather API. We map the result from JSON. This is mandatory every time that we receive a response from an HTTP request. Obviously, if the result is a JSON. And finally, we subscribe to the string of data that is produced and we process our weather. So we are just creating the weather. And the final part, and super important, is to call observable.next. This will finally tell all the observers, okay, look, you have weather available, use it. So this is what I explained here. Every step. You can take a look on this later on from the PDF or the PPT that I put with the material. So this is a subscribe. So on the other side, in the app.component, once we import the weather service that we did it in the previous video, now we have to refactor a little bit because instead of receiving the value in a variable, remember that this is asynchronous programming, so we don't know when this value is dispatched. It can be 1 minute later, 30 seconds after we call this. So we have to subscribe. So this is super important. We have to subscribe to the string of data that is dispatched from the service. And after that, yes, we can process the weather, put it in the array as we have it before. So this is everything that is prepared in the slides, and let's code a little bit for the final round of our code. Okay. So let's go to WebStorm. So the first thing that we have to do, and don't forget this, is go to the index, and we need to import, this is super important, the HTTP library. Okay, so this is a common mistake, super simple to make. Also, we have to go to the boot, boot.ts, and from here we have to tell also, let's put it here, we have to import HTTP provider, so we make this available everywhere. And remember about the array of dependencies of Angular, we put it here. So this is an array, and we put the HTTP provider. Okay, so that's fine. And now let's go to the weather service, and from here we have to do several imports. One of them, it's going to be the HTTP from Angular 2 core. I'm used to this. Okay, so this is what we have to import from here. So from the HTTP library, and we have a little bit more. So we have to import observable, as we said, observable from XES observable. Yes. Also, it's nice to import RxJS. See how the WebStorm is helping us with the where is located what we are trying to find. In this case, we are going to import the map operator. So this is the one that we will use for mapping. Oh, silly mistake. We are in the wrong file. Okay, why nobody told me? So here, let's paste this here. So we have HTTP observable, and we have the map operator for the JSON response. So now we can do this, a little bit of refactoring. So we have the private get the weather API URL. This is the API URL that we will use to get the weather. Then we have the constructor to receive the HTTP variable. This one is super nice. This is just fancy stuff that we can do to improve our code. So we have get weather URL, we pass the city as a string, and then we create the URL, this one, plus the query. So in the end, we will concatenate these two variables, and we will generate exactly something like this. Okay. So this is the next step, and the interesting one is that we don't need this code anymore, but we need something like this. Let's recap this. This is a part that I want you to get clear. For most rookies in Angular 2, this takes time to understand it, really. But we are going to return an observable, so everybody can subscribe to this. Again, this return the observable itself. We make the API call. This will get the full URL from this function. Then we map the result for getting the JSON from there. We check if the response code is 404. We can read from the documentation. This is there's an error. Then we can use the observable.error to tell our subscribers that there is an error, or if the response is positive, we just prepare the city and we return with the weather. So this is half of the history, because now we need to come here. We have already imported the web service. It's linked perfectly. So in this case, from the previous videos, this was just a synchronous call. We were returning exactly the string. So now, as we are working with asynchronous programming, yeah, we have to do it a little bit different. We have to subscribe to the observables. So let's change this and do something like this. I will put a little bit of indentation so it's clear. We have to remove this because we don't have this variable anymore. Okay, so to recap, we make the get weather service. So we subscribe to this. So basically someone will tell us later on, look, there is data for you. So we are just subscribing and waiting for it. When we call in the weather service observer.next, we will receive the weather here. We display the information as we did it in the previous videos. And that's it. That's a way to make an API, a real API. So let's try this. Come here. It seems that there is a big error. Let's see what is the problem. Expected token. So I have a mistake from the importing. So let's see. This one. This is a mistake. I will check the spelling. Okay. Seems to be good. Yeah, finally. It was just that it was in the cache. Now it's refreshed. There was a misspell, so everything was okay. So let's make a call to Vienna. Yeah, we have it there. So we put London. Oh, but this could be that it's fake, right? That it was from the previous video. So let's put another city. I don't know, where are you? I'm going to guess that you are calling from maybe USA, really far away from here, from New York, right? Hopefully, I hope that people from New York buy my videos. This would be great. Again, sorry for my English. I'm doing my best, even if I have a Spanglish, but let's try. So New York. Yeah, it seems that it's cloud, or maybe you are, where else can someone buy my videos from? Where? Just tell me. Okay, yeah, let's try with something else, like from Spain, from my previous city, from Barcelona. Finally, as always, Barcelona, clear sky, beautiful city. So let's debug a little bit this to check and to confirm the usage of the RX library. So let's put a breakpoint here in the line 71 and also in the weather service and the subscribe. So once we type here, let's try another time. Let's put Buenos Aires. I hope someone is buying my video from there. We click enter. So this makes an HTTP GET to the server. We can confirm this here. I was not recording this, sorry. We can do it in a minute. Oh no, yes, it was older. So from here we can check that we make a API request. Yeah, here it is. This is information returned from openweathermap.org. So we process the result. We call next. Then the subscriber, and we display the data as usual. So I hope that you enjoy this full weather app, and see you in the next video.